You know, there's times in life where we just feel really lost and confused and overwhelmed, and we don't really know what to do and where to go, and we're just kind of like, whoa, what the fuck? Yeah, I've been there many times, so, you know, kind of know what I'm talking about here. And I also know from many messages and emails and comments that many people struggle with that. They know that whatever life that they're living right now, that's not it. But at the same time, they don't really know what their path is or what their calling is, or they're just like completely lost with everything. And it's a place that we think is really horrible. Our mind tries to tell us that we need to get out of this place of lostness. But here's my first message to you, is that you can actually embrace it, because it's a beautiful place to be. Feeling lost is really an indicator that something in your life, or maybe everything in your life, is out of alignment. There's no flow. There's a kink somewhere in your flow, and a blockage. And maybe there's many blockages, you know, depending on how long this has been piling up. And so it's really just information for you. And feeling lost really just gives us the opportunity to really tune in and see, you know, what are our needs? What are our true desires? What is our truth? And then actually take the steps to make the changes to get closer to that, to give us, ourselves and our soul and our hearts, what we need. You know, if you look at it from that perspective, it's really just an artificial construct in our mind, the way we're conditioned, that it's a bad place to be. But, you know, you can embrace that feeling and actually accept it and be like, okay, all right, I'm gonna make you my friend. How about we're friends? You know, feeling of lostness and the feeling of I'm just completely overwhelmed and confused. You don't have to make them your enemy. You have a choice. You always have a choice. And it's always up to you how you approach a feeling, an emotion, and whether you let the radio station in your brain take over. And also, you know, when you're in this place of your life, mostly we think that when we're in it, we always think it's going to last forever. We're never going to get out of it. But it's really, everything in life is really only temporary. Nothing's permanent, right? It's almost like an opportunity for immense growth. This pushes you to learn and grow and keep going and expand and evolve. And I mean, what's more beautiful in life than that, you know? And a lot of times we have to first completely get lost and not know what we're doing and what's happening, to then find ourselves again. It's almost like that's how it works. Like in the rule book of the universe. Gotta lose ourselves to find ourselves. And as much as these feelings can be really scary, and you know, maybe you feel depressed or you're just really struggling with that, know that all of this is maybe even, you know, it can be slow, but it's taking you closer and closer to your real truth and to what it really is, that is just kind of waiting to be unleashed, you know, and to be woken up. And, you know, as our good old buddy Steve Jobs used to say, you know, we can't connect the dots looking forward, but, you know, when you look back, a lot of times that's when it all makes sense. And you got to just kind of trust that it will all make sense, and that this period of feeling lost and overwhelmed and just where nothing makes sense, that's okay, and that you can trust that that is an important puzzle piece on your journey to find yourself. And you know, life is a messy business. It's not meant to be linear, you know? We're not meant to know everything all the time. And sometimes we just have to be okay with the fact that we don't know anything. And it's not like I know everything all the time. You know, there's still days where I'm just like, well, what are you doing, Conni? But life is meant to be messy. Through that messiness, as we walk through it, because you can't walk around it, you gotta go through it. The only way out is through. You know, that's how we evolve. And I believe the most important sort of message in this feeling of lostness is that you have to walk your own path. looking for other people to give you guidance, or, you know, kind of following someone else's path is probably not going to be the answer for you. And so I believe that one kind of, I guess, big decision and commitment that you can make is that, okay, now I feel really lost, but how about I take my own compass, which you have, which is your heart, which is your intuition, which is your gut feeling, and you just follow that. You follow your own truth rather than anybody else's. And so one advice, or actually a few recommendations that I have for you to kind of maybe, you know, make your life a little bit easier as you're in this period of your life, is that I would really recommend that you write all that shit out. I would really recommend that you sit down every day and just journal it out. Whatever is up here that's making you just go crazy maybe, or just really feel a bit lonely and just, yeah, lost, right? Just write it all out, whatever is in there. Just by writing it out, you kind of, it's almost like this, you're vomiting out all that trash and that garbage is just kind of keeping you stuck. Journal around the question of, what would it feel like, you know, and who would I be if it was okay to feel lost? What would it feel like if it was okay to have no idea what I'm doing and what I'm supposed to do? And what if you can be lost and enjoy that? Did you ever think about that? The inspiring Kyle C says, you know, whatever it is that you're struggling with, if you then add on an extra little sentence, everything kind of shifts. So you can say, for example, oh man, I feel really lost, and I love that. What if you fall in love with being lost? It's all possible. It's really just in here that keeps us stuck. But instead of looking at it as, you know, judging yourself and criticizing yourself for feeling that way, why not just, okay, I feel lost and I love that, and I'm just gonna hang with that, see what happens. Once you do start making decisions maybe, or choices, and that usually gets you out of this place of, you know, feeling lost or feeling stuck, know that there are no wrong decisions. There just aren't. Again, it's a construct, because we think if we make a wrong decision, then, you know, we will fail and then we regret. But no, every decision that you make leads you towards a learning, an experience that you need in that moment of time. Just trust that whatever decision, whatever choice you make, it's always the right one. There is no wrong decision. It just doesn't exist. I also recommend that maybe you just kind of get started with something very small. You know, maybe you just sit down for 30 minutes and maybe whatever idea you've been kind of carrying around, you just sit down and start just for 30 minutes. Just a little bit, you know, just get it started, whatever it is. Maybe you want to map out the idea. Maybe you just want to start building that website. Maybe you want to start a Facebook group, or, you know, edit photos for your Instagram. Whatever it is, it can be very small. Maybe you just want to write a poem, you know, or draw, but just to kind of get in a creative mode, because that makes you feel so good. Always makes me feel good. And then another thing that, you know, it's like creativity is really a muscle that you can train. And if you sit down every single day and write down 10 ideas for whatever. So today you can sit down and write 10 ideas to get unstuck, 10 ideas to get out of this feeling of being lost, or 10 ideas that you can, you know, start a business tomorrow. Or maybe you want to write down 10 things you're passionate about. Or maybe you want to write down 10 things on how to change the world. You know, whatever it is, just write down, like, have an idea, and then you can mind map it, or you can make a list and just come up with 10 things that, you know, and that in itself will train your creativity muscle, and that in itself will kind of bring, you know, your juices flowing, and you know, maybe it'll take away a little bit of that feeling of lostness. And lastly, you know, maybe you just want to stop everything altogether and just completely, you know, devote yourself to just being in that place and being lost, and just do nothing. Don't read anything, and don't listen to any podcasts, don't watch any YouTube videos. Just take a break and be patient and really kind and compassionate with yourself, and just do that for a few days, or maybe a week, however long you need to, kind of allow yourself to just be lost, not knowing what's gonna happen, to just feel stuck. And just maybe sometimes we just gotta let everything go and just completely surrender, and then we can move on. So I hope, you know, this video helped you out a little bit, and just know that I know what it's like, and there's so many people out there who are probably in your situation, or they've just come out of it, or, you know, we're all in this together. You're never alone. Also, come on over to our Live Your Heart Out Facebook group, and you always find support there. It's just a beautiful, loving, safe space. So definitely come say hi, and you can totally open up and share all your fears and everything that's kind of keeping you stuck. And yeah, if you have any questions, then pop them in the comments. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye. Mwah.